Sirach 33. No evil will befall the man who fears the Lord, but in trial he will deliver him again and again. A wise man will not hate the law, but he who hypocritical about it is like a boat in a storm. A man of understanding will trust in law. For him the law is dependable as an inquiry by means of rim. Prepare what to say, and thus you will be heard. Bind together your instruction and make your answer. The heart of fool is like a cart wheel, and his thoughts like a turning axle. A stallion is like a mocking friend. He neighs under everyone, one who sits on him. Differences in nature and in mankind. Why is any day better than another, when all the daylight in the year is from the sun? By the Lord's decision, they were distinguished, and He appointed the different season and feast. Some of them He exalted and hallowed, and some of them He made ordinary days. All men are from the ground, and Adam was created of the dust. In the fullness of His knowledge, the Lord distinguished them and appointed their different ways. Some of them He blessed and exalted, and some of them He made holy and brought near to Himself. But some of them He cursed and brought low, and He turned them out of their place, as clay in the hand of the potter, for all His ways are as He pleases. So men are in the hand of Him who made them, to give them as He decides. God is the opposite of evil, and life the opposite of death. So the sinner is the opposite of the godly. Look upon all the works of the Most High. They likewise are in pairs, one of the opposite of the other. I was the last one watch. I was like one who gleans after the grape gatherers. By the blessing of the Lord I excelled, and like a grape gatherer I filled my winepress. Consider that I have not labored for myself alone, but for all who seek instruction. Hear me, you who are the great among the people, and you leaders of the congregation, hearken. The advantage of independence. To son or wife, to brother or friend, do not give power over yourself as long as you live, and do not give your property to another, lest you change your mind and must ask for it. While you are still alive and have breath in you, do not let anyone take your place, for it is better that your children should ask from you, and then that you should look to the hands of your sons. Excel in all that you do. Bring no stain upon your honor. At the time when you end the days of your life, in the hour of the death, distribute your inheritance. The treatment of slaves. Fodder and a stick and burdens for an ass. Bread and discipline and work for a servant. Set your slave to work, and you will find rest. Leave his hands idle, and he will seek liberty. Yoke and thong will bow the neck, and for a wicked servant there are racks and tortures. Put him to work, that he might not be idle, for idleness teaches much evil. Set him to work as is fitting for him, for he does not obey. Make his fetters heavy. Do not act immoderately toward anybody, and do nothing without discretion. If you have a servant, let him be as yourself, because you have bought him with blood. If you have a servant, treat him as a brother, for as your own soul you need him. If you ill-treat him, he lives and runs away. Which will you go to seek him? Sirach 34. Dreams mean nothing. A man of no understanding has vain and false hopes, and dreams gives wings to fools. As one catches at a shadow and pursues the wind, so he who gives heed to dreams. The vision of dreams is this, against that likeness of face confronting a face. From an unclean thing, what will be made clean? And from something false, what will be true? Divinations and omens and dreams are folly, and like a woman in the travail, the mind has fantasies. Unless they sent from the Most High as a visitation, do not give your mind to them, for dreams have deceived many, and those who put their hope in them have failed. Without such deceptions, the law will be fulfilled, and wisdom is made perfect in truthful lips. Experience as a teacher, an educated man knows many things, and one with much experience will speak with understanding. He that is inexperienced knows few things, but he that is travelled acquires much cleverness. I have seen many things in my travels, and I understand more than I can express. I often been in danger of death, but have escaped because of these experiences. Fear the Lord. The spirit of those who fear the Lord will live, for their hope is in Him who saves them. He who fears the Lord will not be timid, nor play the coward, for he is his hope. Blessed is the soul of the man who fears the Lord. To whom does he look, or whom in his support? The eyes of the Lord are upon those who love him, a mighty protection and strong support, a shelter from the hot wind and shade from the noonday sun, a guard against the stumbling and defense against falling. He lifts up the soul and gives light to the eyes. He grants healing, life, and blessing. Offering sacrifices. If one sacrifices from what has been wrongfully obtained, the offering is blemished. The gifts of the lawless are not acceptable. The Most High is not pleased with the offerings of the ungodly, and He is not propitiated for sins by a multitude of sacrifices. Like one who kills a son before his father's eyes is the man who offers a sacrifice from the property of the poor. The bread of the needy is the life of the poor. Whoever deprives them of it is the man of blood. To take away a neighbor's living is to murder him. To deprive an employee of his wages is to shed blood. When one builds, another tears down. What do they gain but toil? When one prays, another curses. To whose voice will the Lord listen? If a man washes out after touching a dead body and touches it again, what is he gained by his washing? So if a man fasts for his sons and goes again and does the same things, who will listen to his prayer? And what is he gained by humbling himself? Sirach 35, the law and the sacrifices. He who keeps the law makes many offerings. He who heeds the commandments sacrifices a peace offering. He who returns a kindness offers fine flour, and he who gives alms sacrifices a thank offering. To keep from wickedness is pleasing to Lord, and to forsake unrighteousness is atonement. Do not appear before the Lord empty-handed, for all these things are to be done because of the commandment. The offering of righteous man anoints the altar, and its pleasing odor rises before the Most High. The sacrifice of the righteous man is acceptable, and the memory of it will not be forgotten. Glory the Lord generously, and do not stint the first fruits of your hands. With every gift show a cheerful face, and dedicate your time with gladness. Give to the Most High as He has given, and as generously as your hand has found. For the Lord is the one who repays, and He will repay your sevenfold. Divine justice. Do not offer Him a bribe, and He will not accept it. And do not trust to an unrighteous sacrifice, for the Lord is the judge, and with Him is no partiality. He will not show partiality in the case of a poor man, and He will listen to the prayer of one who is wronged. He will not ignore the supplication of the fatherless, nor the widow when she pours out her story. Do not the tears of widow run down her cheek as she cries out against him who has caused them to fall. He whose service is pleasing to the Lord will be accepted, and his prayer will reach to the clouds. The prayer of the humble pierces the clouds, and he will not console until it reaches the Lord. He will not desist until the Most High visits him, and does justice for the righteous and executes judgment. And the Lord will not delay, neither will He be patient with them. till he crushes the lions of the unmerciful and repays vengeance on the nations, till he takes away the multitude of the insolent and breaks the scepters of the unrighteousness, till he repays the man according to his deeds and the works of man according to their devices, till he judges the case of his people and makes them rejoice in his mercy. Mercy is a welcome when he afflicts them, as clouds of rain in the time of drought. Sirach 36, a prayer for God's people. Have mercy upon us, O Lord, the God of all, and look upon us, and cause the fear of thee to fall upon all the nations. Lift up thy hand against foreign nations, and let them see thy might. And in us thou hast been sacrificed before them, so in them be thou magnified before us. And let them know thee as we have known, that there is not God but thee, O Lord. Show signs anew and work further wonders. Make thy hand and thy right arm glorious. Rouse thy anger and pour out thy wrath. Destroy the adversary and wipe out the enemy. Hasten the day and remember the appointed time, and let people recount thy mighty deeds. Let him who survives be consumed in the fiery wrath, and may those who harm thy people meet destruction. Crush the heads of the rulers of the enemy, who say, there is no one but ourselves. Gather all the tribes of Jacob, and give them their inheritance as it is the beginning. Have mercy, O Lord, upon the people called by the man, upon the Israel whom thou hast likened to a firstborn son. Have pity on the city of thy sanctuary, Jerusalem, the place of thy rest. Fill Zion with celebration of thy wondrous deeds, and thy temple with thy glory. Bear witness to those whom thou didst create in the beginning, and fulfill the prophecies spoken in thy name. Reward those who wait for thee. Let thy prophets be found trustworthy. Hearken, O Lord, to the prayer of thy servants, according to the blessings of Aaron for thy people, and all who are on the earth will know that thou art the Lord, the God of the ages. Concerning discrimination, the stomach will take any food, yet one food is better than another. As the plate tastes the kinds of game, so an intelligent mind detects false words. A perverse mind will cause grief, but a man of experience will pay him back. A woman will accept any man, but one daughter is better than another. A woman's beauty gladdens with the countenance and surpasses every human desire. If the kindness and humility mark her speech, her husband is not like other men. He who acquires a wife gets his best position, a helper fit for him and a pillar of support. Where there is no fence, the property will be plundered, and where there is no wife, a man will wander about and sigh. For who will trust a nimble robber that skips from city to city? So who will trust a man that has no home? Sirach 37. False friends. Every friend will say, I too am I a friend, but some friends are friends only in name. It is not a grief to death when a companion and friend turns to enmity. O evil imaginations, why were you formed to cover the land with deceit? Some companions rejoice in the happiness of a friend, but in time of trouble are against him. Some champions help a friend for their stomach's sake, and in the face of battle take up the shield. Do not forget a friend in your heart. Be not unmindful of him in your wealth. Caution in taking advice. Every counselor praises counsel, but some give counsel in their own interest. Be wary of your counselor and learn the first what is in his interest, and he will take thought for himself, lest he cast the lot against you and tell you your way is good, and then stand aloof to see what will happen to you. Do not consult the one who looks at you suspiciously. Hide your counsel from those who are jealous of you. Do not consult with the woman about her rival, or with the coward about war. With the merchant about the barter, or with the buyer about the selling, with the gruing man about gratitude, or with a merciless man about the kindness, with an idler about any work, or with a man hired for a year about completing his work, with a lazy servant about a big task. Pay no attention to these, any matter of counsel, but stay constantly with godly man, whom you know to be a keeper of the commandments, whose soul is in accord with your soul, and he who will sorrow with you if you fail, and establish the counsel of your own heart. For no one is more faithful to you than it is. For a man's soul sometimes keeps him better informed than 7 watchmen sitting high on the watchtower. And besides all this, pray to the Most High that He may direct your way in the truth. True and false wisdom. Reason is the beginning of every work, and counsel precedes every undertaking. As a clue to changes of heart, 4 turns of fortune appear: good and evil, life and death, and it is the tongue that continually rules them. A man may be shrewd and the teacher of many, and yet to be unprofitable to himself. A man skilled in words may be hated, he will be destitute of all food, for grace was not given him by the Lord, since he is lacking in all wisdom. A man may be wise to his own advantage, and the fruits of his understanding may be trustworthy on his lips. A wise man will instruct his own people, and the fruits of his understanding will be trustworthy. A wise man will have praise heaped upon him, and all who see him will call him happy. The life of man is numbered by days, but the days of Israel are without number. He who is wise among his people will inherit confidence, and his name will live forever. Concerning moderation, my son, test your soul while you live, and see what is bad for it, and do not give it that. For not everything is good for everyone, and not every person enjoys everything. Do not have an insatiable appetite for any luxury, or do not give yourself up to food. For overeating brings sickness, and gluttony leads to nausea. Many have died of gluttony, but he who is careful to avoid it prolongs his life.